Some of the state-owned entities, which include SAA, Eskom, and the SABC, have cost the national fiscus billions of rands in bailouts. The liquidity challenges of SAA resulted in the national carrier being placed under business rescue 3 years ago. This forced the government to sell off its majority stake. And when it later took to the skies, more questions arose around the strategic equity partner, Takatso Consortium. The shareholder has defended the deal, maintaining that all due processes were followed.
Let me assure the public and honorable members that there has been absolute transparency in this process and that all the necessary legal processes were complied with, notwithstanding the regrettable efforts by many to sabotage or undermine what is an important project in terms of recovering an SOE from the damage that was caused by state capture.
However, SCOPA wants evidence and not the minister's word. The committee sought legal opinion, looking to force Gordhan to divulge the details of the sale. SCOPA says the deal must be above reproach and not be tainted with corruption scandals.
We will not take a decision for you whether sell or don't sell. But whatever you do must be done within the parameters of the law and within the parameters of the Constitution, which amongst others calls for transparency.
Meanwhile, besides being cash-strapped, Eskom is battling to keep the lights on. The power utility is currently implementing various stages of load shedding, which fluctuate between stages 3 up to 6. During its recent elective conference, the ruling party resolved to move the power utility to the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy. The decision has been described as strategic in terms of accountability.
There would be no confusion whether it's the Minister of the Department of Public Enterprises or the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy as it is now. There will only one minister who will be a shareholder to account on all problems of that particular entity. Whether then that help the economy or not, I'm not sure about that, but all I know is that in terms of functioning, in terms of accountability, it will be the best way.
I think that decision will really assist while we are facing the just transition. Eskom has a huge responsibility because energy is the oxygen for each and every economy. And then you expect a stagnated economy to be clear with what will be the responsibility of Eskom to turn around the economy.
However, others have sharply criticized the resolution, labeling it disastrous for the economy. The DA says the move will also derail the unbundling of Eskom into generation, transmission, and distribution.
There are a number of conflicts of interest which need to be addressed and are untenable under that particular move. You cannot be operator and regulator at the same time. Secondly, there are debt issues which need to be addressed in terms of that move. Investors may wish to address the covenants, the debt governance that they entered into with the entity, and the move may not be palatable to them.
The SABC has also not been spared. The liquidity challenges of the public broadcaster resulted in the retrenchments of hundreds of workers 2 years ago. And it spent months without having an accounting authority after the expiry of the board that was chaired by Bongumusa Makhathini. SABC executives were sent packing by SCOPA last year after it emerged that the broadcaster had no accounting authority. A civil society organization known as the Support Public Broadcasting Coalition says it's concerned about the period of the leadership vacuum.
We had the SABC announce that they're going to be launching a new channel, and there's no board. So now I'm wondering where all of this came from. Is it an idea that was decided in the absence of the board? Is it an idea that was approved by the previous board? If it was approved by the previous board, is it going to be implemented accordingly? Because if there's no accounting authority, no one is overseeing all those processes. And what implications is it going to have on the SABC's finances, which are already dire?
Meanwhile, Parliament has adopted a plan to implement the recommendations of the Zondo Commission on how it must strengthen oversight. Lula Mamatya, SABC News, Parliament.